For those of you that have been around the channel for any length of time, you guys know that I love my tobacco fragrances. Matter of fact, this fragrance in particular was featured on my top 10 tobacco fragrances list. I kind of teased it. Now it's time to get into the nuts and bolts. And honestly, guys, if you were to ask me, Dave, you know what? I need a recommendation, man. I'm looking for this one tobacco fragrance that is going to be masculine, gentlemanlike, perfect for fall and winter time. This would be the one that I recommend to you 10 times out of 10. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you all about Tobacco Pod from the brand For the Scent of It. Stay right there. Before we get started, if you are new here, my name is Dave. This is Cali's Groom Room. On this channel, we talk about all things men's grooming and fragrance related because I am dedicated to help you become and be the best looking, the best smelling you that you could possibly be. I know that sounds great to you, so do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Guys, I've got to know, we have to know. Have you heard of this brand For the Scent of It? If so, which offerings from the brand did you try, or are you interested in trying? This is a small indie niche brand. I'm talking small batches, small business, the whole 9 yards, guys. So your money is going to a great place here. I love talking about small businesses on this channel. And as we get further into 2022, you are going to see that we are going to be talking a lot about small independent brands, such as this one here, For the Scent of It. Your owner operator, Michael, he hails from the great state of Wisconsin, right here in the beautiful United States of America. He offers us great high quality ingredients that are also cruelty free, coming in at a great affordable price that we're going to get into right now. This right here is the 30 milliliter bottle, paper label. So 30 mils, guess what, guys, is going to run you $60. $60 USD for this 30 milliliter bottle. Wait till I tell you about the smell. Then you're really, really going to fall in love. You're going to see that I actually turn the atomizer. So you guys know I've spoken about my quirky OCD. I actually turn it the opposite way because I don't want to stain the paper label. So I turn it this way. 2 sprays, nice atomizer. By the way, that oak tree there is just a memory that he has attached to Michael, the brand owner, has attached to his childhood. He used to climb this oak tree and wanted that oak tree to be a part of the brand. I thought that was cool when I was doing a bit of research on the brand. Just thought that was a nice little thing. By the way, Michael's an experienced perfumer. You don't really have to worry if the guy's going to be around for a little while. He plans on sticking around. He's got a lot of experience underneath his belt. Let's talk about this scent development, shall we? You are hit with an abundance of spices. I'm getting cinnamon, nutmeg, an overdose of cloves. I'm experiencing a lot of cloves here, so warm, spicy. That's what you get right out of the gate. Also, even though you have all those spices going on, you also experience a hint of this tobacco. It's just starting to poke its head through, but then you experience even more of that in the heart of the fragrance until it becomes the focal point of the composition. So what you're experiencing here is a Bulgarian Tobacco Absolute. Now, the way that the Bulgarian Tobacco Absolute comes across to me is it does strike me as more of in the pipe tobacco kind of family, if you will, you know, but it gives off this earthy, herbaceous feel with a little bit of a spice thrown in. So think of like black pepper. So you have those warm spices. Now you get this nice tobacco. You have a little bit of a peppery, leathery feel there in the background coming from that Bulgarian Tobacco Absolute. This is such a beautiful fragrance. I love the development of this composition. You have this creamy, velvety, silky vanilla running through it. It's not your cupcake gourmand vanilla. This is adding, like I said, that creamy, vanilla texture and tone to the fragrance. And on the other side of the base of the fragrance, you have the cedarwood. The cedarwood is adding a nice dry, woody facet to the fragrance that is much needed here. So to run through it again, you have a very beautiful blend of warm spices. You have this rich, earthy, dark, herbaceous, leathery, peppery tobacco going on here that does remind me of pipe tobacco. Cream, silky, smooth vanilla, and that dry cedarwood, which also does help stabilize the other notes. Man, let me tell you something. When you walk by somebody and they catch a whiff of this fragrance, expect for them to ask you, what are you wearing? This is a head turner, although, you know, admittedly, this isn't a room filler. I wouldn't call it a room filler, but this is one that definitely has that performance that's going to get you noticed. But before we get knees deep into the performance, I do want to talk about and get out of the way the elephant in the room that's staring at me hardcore right now. It's a large elephant. It is Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford right here. So I will say, I'm going to spray it on. I will say that when the fragrance opens up, Tobacco Vanille, you get the spices. And that's going to get you thinking that tobacco pod is smelling very similar and familiar. But just wait, because it doesn't. Tobacco pod is definitely not a clone. You could make the argument that it's inspired by. A clone is you're trying to be something that you're not. An inspiration is you are influenced or inspired by something or someone, but you're not exactly like them. You're just borrowing that influence. And that's what I could see here, that it has that familiarity to Tobacco Vanille without being exactly like Tobacco Vanille. Because after all, you have this cherry liqueur vibe that I've, said in a couple videos in Tobacco Vanille. I do also find Tobacco Vanille to be unisex, can be worn by men or women. This one here, Tobacco Pod, I find to be very, well, not very, but much more on the masculine side of the spectrum there. And also, Tobacco Vanille, I find to be a little bit more dry of an experience than Tobacco Pod. So for comparisons, they compare and then they don't. So take that for what you will. Now, what I will say to end the comparison is if you were talking a 1 ounce bottle of Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, in the current pricing, we'd be talking about $160. That's retail. For Tobacco Pod, as I mentioned, you're going to pay $60. Your money will be better spent going to a small indie niche, small business brand like For the Scent of It. So my recommendation is go with this over Tobacco Vanille. So is it better than Tobacco Vanille? I just gave you the comparisons. You could take that for what it's worth. But if I'm going to recommend you one, I'm recommending this in terms of overall scent profile, quality, and the fact that it is more on the gentleman masculine side, as I said. So for the ladies out there in attendance, if you're looking for one fragrant gift to gift a loved one, a family member, or a significant other, definitely check out Tobacco Pod. When it comes to performance of the fragrance, as I had briefly touched on, this is one where you can expect to walk into a room and not fill it. This is not a room filler. It doesn't project. It doesn't perform like that. So this is all about that sillage, that scent trail. And let me tell you, this is a very attractive, sophisticated, yet seductive and alluring type of a scent trail. You are going to have people asking you, what are you wearing? That's what I've experienced in my wearings with this fragrance. People seem to just be drawn to it and they love it. And that's great because I love it too. So for me, projects great in the first hour, hour and a half. Starts to settle, get close to my scent bubble, but doesn't fully become a skin scent until around that 8-hour mark. So 7-8 hours of total longevity before it becomes a skin scent is what you can expect, or at least that's what I've been expecting. Not expecting, experiencing. 4 seasons, I kind of touched on that already. I think this is going to be great and perform at its best in the fall and winter time. This is a thick, dense sort of a concentration. I know 20% concentration may not sound like a lot to many of you out there, but let me tell you, it's enough to cut through the cold and get you through the cool, cold days or cold nights of the winter time. This one, I can see being way too cloying and overpowering and just too spicy for those, warmer, even hotter days of spring and summer. As far as occasions goes with this fragrance, this does not strike me as a casual fragrance. I mean, if you want to wear it casually, go for it. But this is one that when you are dressed up, you're in a sophisticated outfit, maybe wearing a sport coat, a blazer, or a suit jacket, something of that sort. That's the vibe that you're giving off. You are going to smell sophisticated, luxurious, all those sort of things, with also having a bit of a sex appeal factor to it, because it does have that attraction to it, that it's sexy, that it's alluring and captivating in that sense. So yes, this is going to be great not only for office wear, but for also date time, date nights. This is going to fit that bill as well. So great, versatile fragrance. So I would definitely say that this fragrance is very versatile. And that is it. That's all I have for you today. This is my review for Tobacco Pod from the brand For the Scent of It. Let me know, again, in the comments below if you've ever experienced the brand. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you head out. I am going to head out now. Thank you for your time. I genuinely appreciate that. Until we see each other again, take care of one another, respect everyone, and love each other. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Love you guys. Peace.